Hi everyone, my name is Cheng Ge. I'm currently doing a research project for the collective leisure. As you can see on the slide, collective leisure runs sportability clubs, inclusive sports program designed for people with disabilities. The photos shows the of their weekly community sections. Even though these programs are NDAS funded, participation is still quite low. This is especially true in areas like La Palmata, where over a half population speak a language other than English, as shown in the maps and status on the right. So, my research looked beyond the financial factors and focused on hidden barriers like limited information, culture gaps, and transport issues, and how they related to border strategies like the NDAS and Parramatta's DIAP plan. This study I used a mixed method approach, mostly qualitative, with some quantitative and support. I begin with literature reviews for the academic research on disability report and sports participation. Then, I analyze the national and local policies such as NDAS cultural and linguistic and diversity strategy and the Parramatta's disability inclusion action plan. This document highlighted the importance of the accessibility and inclusive communication, which directly relate to my topic. I also use some statistical data from the ABS and NDAS reports. For instance, data shows that the CLD communities have lower NDAS participation rates, even though their disability rates are really similar. Finally, I gained the insights from our client briefing with the collective leisure. The section points to the three major issues: information gaps, lack of trust, and the transport barriers. One limitation to those slides is that I didn't conduct interviews or stories. So the analysis based on the secondary sources will let me not reflect our lived experience. It still provides a strong base for future research and community engagement. So overall, we found three main barriers: information, trust, and transport, and I will walk you through each of them. The first barrier we identified is the lack of clear and accessible information. Many people with disabilities and their families simply don't know about the sportability clubs, not because the service doesn't exist, but because of the communication is fragmented and the outreach is limited. For culturally and linguistically diverse communities or CLD groups, this problem is even worse. Language gaps and cultural misunderstandings often lead to the low awareness and low trust in programs like NDAS. Also, mm, there are digital and accessibility barriers. For example, some websites are not screen reader friendly, or they don't offer the easy read versions for the people with cognitive disabilities. The diagrams on the side shows the breakdown. Even if the information is published, barriers in spreading and the accessibility means only a small number of people actually received it. So, how can we address this information barrier? We suggest three key actions. First, broaden outreach. That means working with the schools, face groups, and using ethnic media like the radio and flyers to get the message out more effectively. Second, make the communication more inclusive, providing materials in different languages and involving CLD community ambassadors can help bridge cultural gaps and build trust. And third, improve accessibility. This includes screen reader friendly websites and easy read formats for people with cognitive disabilities. The second barrier is trust. Many families are unsure about the government funded service. Past experience or language barriers makes them cautious. As shown in the pie chart, only 80.4% of NDS participants come from the CALD backgrounds. There's also cultural stigma. In some communities, disability is kept private, seen as a family issue. And finally, family influence matters. In many cultures, caregivers are the key decision makers. If they don't trust the service or don't understand its Why do participants doesn't happen? So how to rebuild trust? First, we suggest working with the cultural brokers and sharing real success stories in familiar languages. Second, we need to respect different cultural views on disability, such as trains of in cultural community and offer service in heritage languages. The third barrier is transport. Many people with disabilities rely on the public or accessible transport, but issues like missing step-free access, limited wheelchair taxis, and untrained drivers make the travel really hard. Even walking can be a challenge. Broken footpaths, step slopes, and the lack of fully accessible toilets stop the people from getting to activities, even if they want to. And finally, long commutes can mean more time, more cost, and more fatigue. As shown in the chart here, access hasn't improved much over the past decade. So, unless we improve the mobility, participants will remain low, no matter how good the program is. You can also see that I found the supporting data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics to back up this point. So how can we improve the transport access? We suggest three actions. First, improving options like the step-free stations, better driver training, and easier access to wheelchair taxis or community rides. Second, fix those infrastructure. 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 Participation in sports ability clubs isn't hindered by a single barrier. It's shaped by global interconnected challenges, lack of information, low trust, and transport difficulties. These barriers reinforce each other. If people don't have the clear information, they may not trust the program, and without the trust, they are unlikely to overcome transport hurdles to participate. Our research is limited by time. We didn't interview the participants directly and didn't fully explore differences across the disability types. For future work, we recommend focus groups with the people with disabilities and families, benchmarking with the other courses, and collecting more data to assess impact. Finally, it's not just about money, it is about the building access, trust, and connection. Here's my reference list. Thanks for listening.